Hello people, today I'm going to be showing a startup and takeoff on Concorde. As you see, the aircraft is completely unpowered, everything is off. Here we got a pop-up of the engineer panel. As I hover the mouse over one of the panel areas, if I click it, it will open it to me. For example, if I want the engine control schedule and nozzle angle scheduling unit, I click on this area of the panel and it opens that for me. Here, if I want the fuel panel, for example, there it is. This mini engineer's panel pop-up is identical to the one in the back. With that said, let's go and proceed to our startup.
Safety checklist. Ground service switch.
On.
Warning, bracken area and room points.
On.
Landing gear standby, lowering lever.
Guarded.
Transponder. Nose and visor standby.
Standby.
Landing gear
Configured. Down.
gear override.
Guarded.
Nose and visor lever.
Nose is up. Visor is up. As
Auto
configuration.
ignition switches.
Off.
PDS engine probe heaters.
Off.
Beacon intake anti-icing test.
Off.
Fuel forward transfer switch.
Guarded.
Transfer auto master set.
Off and guarded.
Tank 11 inlet valve sets.
Off.
Standby inlet valve switches. Trim pipe drain switch.
Shut.
Jettison panel cover.
Closed.
Rim air turbine switches. Windshield emergency DI switches.
Off and guarded. Off and guarded.
Circuit breakers.
Set. We don't really have this in Flight Simulator, but we checked anyway. Let's take a quick look at that.
Safety checklist is complete. Preliminary cockpit checklist. Ground power.
On and available.
Equipment bay cooling panel.
Checked and set.
Air data computers.
Coming on.
Drain mast heater.
Are off.
INSs 1, 2, and 3.
Here we go with the INSs. One to standby. 2 to standby. 3 to standby. Our position is south 23256, west 46290. The position is already on the INS, but I'm going to insert it again in order to ensure a proper alignment. West 46290. Oops. South 23256. Insert west 46290. There it goes. Got the position on all three INSs, and now we press the remote switch. So when one information is inserted in one INS, it will automatically go to the other two. Having done that, we then test the INSs. There it is, and we've got a satisfactory result on all of the INS tests. So I'm going to put them to their alignment. There goes 1 to align, 2 to align, and 3 to align. I'm going to put my route into them. The first waypoint is south 22258 and west 47338. 47338. Just gonna make sure that it loaded in the other two INSs, which it did, and then I'm going to proceed with our waypoint inserting in the INSs. The second waypoint is south 20408, south 20408, and west 48494. Third waypoint now, north 19455, and west 70342. And the fourth waypoint is north 21464 and west 72161. There it is. We now checked that all three units are aligning, and we proceed with our checklist.
Transponder at TCAS.
Test.
Preliminary cockpit checklist is complete.
TCAS system test OK.
The preliminary cockpit checklist is complete, and let's proceed with the next part of the checklist.
Before start checklist. Once the CBs.
On. Let me just stop the checklist, I'm going to insert our weights on the computer in the fuel panel. We have a full load today, so we've got 91,400 kilos of payload, and our CG is 5334%. There it is. We now insert our current weight into the this other unit here. We now insert our fuel, which is 91,200 kilos. Just reset these before doing it and put the switch back to its normal position. Our gross weight today is 182,600 kilos. Our fuel weight is 91,200 kilos. Zero fuel weight, 91,400 kilos. And our zero fuel CG is 53.34%. Current CG of 53.4. Already gonna set the load limit controller for our cruise limit, which is 9,500 kilos on tank 11. This is what we need to achieve the desired CG of 59% in cruise. We now in advance set some switches on this panel. And proceed with our checklist.
Cockpit inspection and security.
Complete.
Oxygen. DP windows.
Checked 100%. DP windows are closed.
Flight control inverters.
On.
Empty stall systems.
On.
Red INS switches.
Red.
Instrument transfer switches.
Set.
UNA JA altimeters.
Guarulhos is at some 2,470 feet. Oh, damn it. $2,470 feet. There it is. Altimeter 1018.
Nav radios.
.1160 on this one. 1169er on this one. degrees and whoops. 269 degrees. One 180. And oh no, this one is set up to 269. Oh, there it was. Okay. Now we just gotta set our NDB frequency. Two 40 and 350. I'm just going to confirm by taking a look at the chart. Oh, it's 280. And the other one is 350. So that is set. I now proceed with the checklist.
Transponder.
Stand by 2000.
Brakes.
Spark checked.
Nav lights.
Are on.
Throttle masters.
All turn.
Ground hydraulic checkout.
Ground hydraulic checkout. Yellow, yellow, and off.
Fuel heaters.
Auto.
Engine recirculation valves.
Shut.
Secondary air doors.
Auto.
Batteries.
On and
NSO
normal.
2 and 3.
Are lining up.
SI bugs, pitch index, and reheat placard.
Just gonna update the rotate bug down to 180 knots. Pitch index is 13.5. Reheat placard. Let's put it up one notch. I'm already gonna set our ground distance. This flight is about 3,100 miles. And we now convert it to statute miles because this is the data that is going to be shown to the passengers. Now proceed with the checklist.
Fuel flow and P7 bugs. Block and TLA bugs.
Are checked.
Seatbelt sign.
Checked. Just check the clock. Checked.
Reheat.
Seatbelt sign is on. The briefing will be quite. It will be not a very good briefing. Just a little bit of information that I need for our SID, Standard Instrument Departure. We're taking off on runway 09 left today, and we after takeoff are going to proceed direct into the Bon Sucesso VOR. After intercepting it and flying over it, we're gonna turn to its to the course 180 of that VOR until we intercept the radio 269 of the Congonhas VOR. After that, we follow the course 269 of the Congonhas VOR. After intercepting the course 269 of that VOR, we then keep that heading until we fly over it, and after that we proceed on course 301 from that VOR until we cross the radio 276 of Bom Sucesso. After crossing that radio, we then proceed on the KD mic for the VOR for the NDB Rio Claro until we intercept it. After it, it's the end of our SID, and we are going to be in the arrow. The briefing is stated. Proceed with the checklist.
Load sheet.
Checked.
0 fuel weight and 0 fuel CG.
0 fuel weight is 91,400 kilos and the 0 fuel CG is 5334.
New remaining in aircraft weight.
Fuel remaining 91,200 kilos, aircraft weight 182,600 kilos.
Limits.
Are set.
Start clearance.
We're flying offline, we don't really have a tower, so it's obtained.
No warnings.
All out.
Master warning.
Checked and recalled.
Anti-collision lights.
On.
Throttles.
Idle.
Engine feed pumps.
On.
Deck door. Clearance to start.
The flight deck door is locked. Clearance to start is obtained. Ensure that we have air bleed. The air conditioning should be on, like this, in order to keep the interior cool. But as this is flight simulator, it doesn't really matter. So I have the bleeds going.
Start checklist is complete.
4 start checklist complete. We now go ahead and just right before we start the engines, check our INS alignment. It's on the most accurate index, and I just put them on the desired pages. Close them and put them to nav. 1 to nav, 2 to nav, 3 to nav. The INS light has gone off. Now we're going to start the inboard engines. Open the forward leg panel and the overhead. See that we have clear view of the N2 here. Start with engine 3, debo, start. At 12%, we open the fuel. At 25%, this comes to off. At 30%, the engine runs at a sub-idle. That's the debowing process. We're equalizing the temperatures in different parts of the engine. We then wait for the yellow light to come on here, and as it comes on, we put the switch back to its normal position and watch the engine accelerate to its normal idle of about 70%. I'm going to put the engines 2 and 3 on high idle because I'm going to start engines 1 and 4 with cross bleed. As the engine starts and gets its rotational speed normal, we then get a terrain test that says pull up, which we did. And as the engine is started, we get its generator going. It's gonna silence the master warning system and recall. Continuing with the startup, engine 2 to start. Ten, 11 is reached. 12, we open the fuel. As it reaches 25%, this moves off. Wait for the yellow light here. Came on. Put the switch back to its normal position and watch the engine accelerate to its normal idle of about 70%. Generator on for that engine. The backs from each engine go on, the air conditioning stays off, and the cross bleed off. We now get our pushback. Before we do, we're gonna start our hydraulics. There you go. Silence the master warning system. There it goes. Release the brakes. Start the pushback. As the pushback goes, I'm going to start engine number 4 using cross bleed. First I check once more that we've got all the bleeds going, which we do. Electrical power, yep. So now engine 4 to start. %, we open the fuel, wait for 25, This is going off. Runs at a sub-idle at 30%. Gonna end the pushback here. Apply the parking brake. Wait for the yellow lights to come on. And put this switch back to its normal position. Now get the generator from that engine on. There it is. Just gonna check this real quick. And we now start engine number 1. So get our HP valve open. Excuse me. The engine runs at its 30% sub-idle. We then wait for the light, the depot switch, and as it comes on we put it back to its normal position. Watch the engine accelerate to about 70% N2. And get its generator on. Intakes to their automatic position. Ensure the spill doors go back to 0. Get our flight controls working in the blue hydraulic system. There it is, all blue. Proceed with the checklist.
Checklist. Import engines.
Started.
Hydraulics.
Checked. We look for 4,000 psi. Ground equipment is clear.
Outboard engines.
Are started.
My checklist is complete.
I'm gonna put this to low.
After start checklist.
What?
Low fuel steering.
Checked. Light off.
Flight control, AFCS and trims.
Flight controls of the blue system. Checking. Stick up. Stick down. Left turn. Neutral. Right turn. Rudder. Left and right. Neutral. Total flight. We have a restriction at 11,000 feet. Which is set. And the trims 0, 0, and this one also to 0. So that's checked.
Cabin fuel.
Engaged.
Engine impasse and schedule.
Off and fly over.
Brake pause.
Coming on.
Idle switches.
Low.
Low warnings.
Tested and off.
Engine feed pumps. Hydraulics.
All on. Checked.
Electrics. Ground equipment is
Checked. Ground bypass. The after start checklist is complete.
After start checklist.
Here we go.
Exit checklist. Nose and visor.
Down on 5.
Brakes.
Checked. They're normal.
Flight instruments.
Checked. No flags. Cross checked. No flags in the middle. Are checked.
Trims.
Frames all to 0.
Mint.
As required.
Engine braking mode.
Takeoff.
Auto ignition.
On.
Throttles.
Set.
Main box heater.
Off. Not required.
Engine flight rating.
Climb.
Pressure static heaters.
Are on.
EDS standby heaters.
TT inhibit and on.
Air intakes.
Checked. Auto. 0.
Engine control schedule.
Fly over.
Engine 4 takeoff and 1 limiter.
I'm gonna keep it at normal.
Air conditioning.
Is
Pressure protection slip.
air conditioning is now on. And we checked that this will increase, which it is. Fuel pressure protection switch is armed.
Consumed indicators.
Checked.
Engine feed pumps.
All on.
Cross seat valves.
Shut.
Anti-skid lights, star lights.
Off. Checked.
Reverse SOs.
Their normal position of 21 degrees.
Signal heat.
Armed.
Seats and harness.
Locked, power off, and secured.
Fuel tanks contents.
Are
Air
checked.
pumps.
Air pumps on
Takeoff CG switch.
for 5A and 7A, the right hand pump between 6 and 8. Now take off CG switch. Normal.
Position.
Checked. Position about 53 and a half.
Transfer pumps.
And transfer pumps are as required.
Cabin slides.
Secured.
Exit checklist is complete. More takeoff checklist. Any updates in the briefing?
No updates in the briefing.
Cabin protocol.
3 presses.
Landing lights.
On.
Transponder.
Let's say that the ATC gave us a transponder.
Auto mine. Master warning.
Black. Recall inhibit.
Takeoff monitor.
Armed.
Reheat.
Armed.
Nozzle override lights.
Off.
Pitch index.
13.5.
Radar.
On.
Brake guns.
We don't really have the radar on Flight Simulator, but I just set on anyway. Brake funds come to off.
Our takeoff checklist is complete. After takeoff check.
Oop. Gonna wait until we actually take off to get our after takeoff checklist going. It's quite interesting lining up on the runway. We're sitting here on the flight deck some 35 feet ahead of the nose beam. So we have to overshoot the runway center line somewhat. It's my phone saying that it's got low battery. There we are, all lined up. Not a very good lineup, but well. This to run. Everybody all set. 3, 2, 1, now.
Building. Power set.
Now we're gonna set.
V1. Rotate. V2. Positive climb.
You're up.
knots.
3, 2, 1, noise. Up.
Landing gear.
After takeoff checks, gears up. Neutral.
Landing lights.
Lights on. Landing lights. Retracted and off.
Fast warning.
Is being recalled.
ADS and standby heaters.
All on.
Engine braking mode.
Flight.
Pressurization. Secondary air doors.
Pressurization set to 5,500 feet. Secondary air doors. Checked. this to normal.
Nose and visor.
Nose and visor is up.
After takeoff checklist is complete.